today to show you how to make a hydrosol. A hydrosol is a way to capture the scent or the volatile oils in plant material. Today I'll be showing you how to do this with lilacs. These lilacs are beautiful, they're super fragrant, tons of volatile oil. I'm gonna try to capture the scent of these, and we will use this then maybe for the next 3 to 4 months, sometimes up to 6 months, to use to freshen and scent the air, to perfume our bodies, and even for some medicinal value. So you'll need a few things to make this happen. One, you'll need fresh plant material. That's ideal. Sometimes you can use dried, but fresh is best. You'll need a lot of it because it will consolidate down quite a bit. You will need a bag of ice. I have a silicone bag, that is ideal, but if you don't have this, you can use a plastic bag. You'll need ramekins that you can then stack one on top of the other, just like this, on the inside of a pot to catch the hydrosol as it's forming. You'll need to have a pot that will have a lid that can sit inverted with a tight seal and that has an area or a handle ideally where it can drip down into one spot. Now, you might only have lids like this. Here's an example of a lid that has a rounded edge. The problem with this one is when it sits inside, it's really going to be too deep. It's going to be hard to have it actually drip, and it's a little bit wider. So not ideal, but it can work. And then the last thing you're going to need is water. Here's how you'll do it. You'll take your ramekin, you'll take the first one upside down, take the second one on top, and you're going to place this on the inside of your pot. Here I've got the pot, so you can see I've got the ramekin upside down. This one is on top, and then I've got this nice deep base around it. So then what I'll do is I'll take my flowers, and ideally you don't want the stems, because any part that doesn't have the essential oil will make it smell a little bit more musky and grassy rather than just getting those oils. So I'm gonna strip off all of the flowers and place them in a circle around the outside. I wish you could smell this right now. It smells so good. You can see it's filling up around the edges here. This is good. I'm gonna try to take all the leaves out. I'm making a little bit of a mess. Oops. Our next step is to put water in all the way around to fill and to cover the flowers. Now, these lilacs are very fluffy, so I'm using about 2 cups of water here, and let me just push them down. They will flatten out. I just want to make sure that as they compress that there's going to be enough water. I think that's actually going to be quite good. So I've got 2 cups of water and a lot of fluffy lilacs. I brought all of this over to my stovetop. I'm going to turn the burner on to about medium. I don't want it to get too hot, but I do need to create steam. So then the next step is I'm going to take my lid, and again, see, I'm going to invert it, and it's really important it makes a tight seal. It has to seal, otherwise you're going to lose your steam. Then we're going to take our bag of ice and we're going to place it on top. And now basically what we're doing is we've created a still, and the volatile oils are going to evaporate up, and because they're a little bit, because they're light, they're going to start to come out into the steam. And then we've got the cold ice here. And what's going to happen is that it's going to consolidate and create it's going to create a condensation. And then that's going to drip into that center pot here. So it's going to condense on here, drip from boop here right into there. And what we're going to capture is the essential or the volatile oils in the plant that are infused into the water. And so this is what a hydrosol is. A hydrosol is the volatile oils from the plant material infused into the water, so it becomes one substance. They're not separated. The oils actually they combine with the water. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna let this sit here. A few tips. You have to keep your eye on it. You don't wanna walk away for too long because a few things will happen. One is that this ice is going to start to melt. And if you don't have that cold on the top, that condensation is not going to happen. Keep your eye on your ice and refill it as soon as it starts to melt. The other thing you're going to have to keep an eye on is the inside, and this is going to start to fill up. So as this fills up and you start to get little drops of liquid in here, you might want to start to pour it off into a second container. It's going to be hot, so don't touch it with your hands. You're going to have to use a thin mitt. I like to use just some sort of cloth like this, and I will just pick it up from the sides, pour it in. I have a little few friends here who are holding on to my lilacs, so make sure that you do shake out your plants first. I'm gonna go put these guys outside. Sorry guys. This is a new method of filming. I haven't done it like this before, where I need to edit and make it shorter and more concise. I think if you like it, if it's not good, I don't know, let me know. All right, do you hear that sound? That means it's starting to work. What you're hearing is the sounds of the ramekins starting to kind of bump and rattle together because the water's heating and it's about to start to boil. What we want it to be at a temperature where it's gonna be simmering. I'm just gonna remove this, use my cloth because it's hot. I'm just gonna take a peek in, and let's see if you can see what's going on. See how it's starting to steam? This is good. I don't want that steam to escape because then that's my hydrosol going right up into the air. Use your ears. You can really listen. If it starts to really go brrr, that means, oh, see, my heat's too high. I'm just gonna turn my heat down. It might take a minute, but I don't want it to have that rattly sound. I want it to be simmering, but still. I don't love electric. I would rather have gas because gas you can control and it cools and warms more quickly. I turned the heat down. You can hear that it's still rattling a little bit. I turned it all the way down to a 2 on the electric. It is just on a very, very low simmer, and it's getting slower and slower with that rattling. In a few minutes, once the rattling stops, I'll open it up and we'll take a look. Okay, the rumbling is done, so I'm gonna take a peek. Oh, I have lost some of my hydrosol. Let's see. Guess we have a little bit too much rumbling, but I do have some here. I'm just gonna scooch these guys back to the middle with a spoon. And I'm gonna add a little bit more water. The water is what evaporates. We always need to make sure we have enough water. So I just added a tiny bit. Everything is back in place. I'm gonna put this back on top. Add my ice and let it go. Let's see how we're doing. We'll take off our ice, which is melting. Oh, it's starting to rumble. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. And here's my hydrosol. I'm just gonna let it drip into that middle part. It's starting to come along. You can see some of it there in the middle, but we need more than that. We're just gonna leave that on there, put the ice back, and wait. In exciting news, we have more hydrosol to harvest. See, now I'm gonna gently take off the lid. Again, the volatile oils and water combination are gonna be on the lid, so make sure when you pick it up, you try to gather that into the middle ramekin. You can see that I have more liquid in there. Keep going. The plant material has gotten really flattened down. Do you see it's kind of cooked away? So we're gonna add more. I'm gonna take more of my fresh lilacs and carefully place it around the ramekin. And add these in. Oh, there's a stem. That will make it a little grassier and greener, which I don't want. So more flowers for more scent. And usually you'll have to do this a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times. So this process can take upwards of about maybe 1, maybe 2 hours, depending on how much you really want to get. I'll add more water to cover the flowers I just added in. And I'll replace my lid, my hot lid, carefully on the top, and then return the ice and continue to let it cook and create more hydrosol. Once you've captured all the hydrosol that you're gonna capture and you have it in a jar, the next step is to strain it. Here I have a Pyrex measuring container with a nice spout on it, which is super helpful for this. And then I have a muslin cloth bag that I'm going to use to strain. I take my hydrosol that I extracted, I'm going to pour it into it. And then all the little particles that made their way into it get strained out. Give it a little squeeze. One more item that you need to help it stay preserved is alcohol. This is one that a friend of mine had custom made for us. It is a organic vodka. So you can use vodka, it works really nicely. You can use any real vodka. Brandy could work, although it has a little bit of a scent to it. And I would say that for about, right now I have about a 1/4 cup of hydrosol. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of my vodka. Mix it up. To store it, an amber bottle is best because that will keep it from spoiling. So I just made a very unfancy label, lilac hydrosol, and then I can pour it directly into there. And not spill it because it's precious. Perfect. Screw on the lid. And there you have it. Now you have a hydrosol, and you can use your hydrosol, you can spray it in the air. It's really good for your face and your skin. You can share it with a friend, and this will stay refrigerated for about 6 months. Unrefrigerated, it'll stay probably good for about 3 months. But use it up. Try to use up your hydrosols as quickly as you can to really lengthen the amount of time that you have these beautiful scents available to you in the air. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Try different herbs out, anything that has a volatile oil or a lot of scent to it. You can do lemon balm, you can do catnip, it doesn't have to be a flower. You could do flowers like roses or chrysanthemum or marigolds, you name it. And then share with me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you found when you tried making your own. Thanks, everyone.